What are 5 photography tips that I would give to a beginner that wants to, well, become a good hobbyist or to be even a professional photographer? I get asked this a lot. This is something that I get asked constantly, probably above every other question in photography. I get asked this. So we're going to talk about 5 things, and at the end, there's actually going to be a little bonus one where we put it all together. Now, who am I? My name is Mike Patterson, and I'm a professional full-time photographer located here in Western Canada, and I've been a professional photographer for over 39 years. Not only do I run a photography studio, but I also own a photo lab where I print for beginners to experts. And I see a lot of mistakes people make, and in these videos I try to communicate to you how you can get better at what you're doing and, well, save you reinventing the wheel. If you like this channel, please subscribe to the channel, click on the bell notification so you get notified when I upload new videos, and click on the like button for this video. So let's get into it. Number 1, before anything, start with the equipment you have. Start with the equipment that you can afford. I hear it constantly from people. Well, I want to start into photography, but I'm waiting to be able to afford. No. Don't keep waiting. Start where you're at. Start with what you can afford. Start with the equipment you have. Start with the equipment you can borrow. Start with the equipment that you may be able to go and get from a library or a camera club that you can take out and you can try, and you can start making some progress today. If you have to, buy a used camera and lens to get out there and start taking pictures. I like to tell stories in my videos, and I meet so many people that I see stuff and I learn from these people. Perfect example. A number of years ago, a young lady came to me, very shy. She wanted to be a photographer. She really loved photography, but she hadn't taken any pictures. She just liked what it could do. So we talked for a while, and she went out and she got herself a cheap camera and started taking pictures. It was not a good camera at all. Within 3 years, she was taking absolutely amazing pictures, selling her work, and she actually started a nice sized company by just growing from where she was at. At about the exact same time, I had somebody else come to me, approach me about doing the exact same thing. They were taking a bit of a different path, and the path that they took was they were going to wait for the next camera to come out. Well, guess what? As of today, I think they're still waiting for the next camera to come out. The one who started it, she has a business going. She's making good money at it because she started where she was at. So start with the camera that you have. Now, I'm not saying that buying a cheap camera is going to give you world-class pictures in every situation, but at least you're learning something. At least you're starting at some place. Because if we don't start, we will never finish. So you need to start now with the equipment that you can get. Borrow it from a family member, a friend, rent it, whatever you have to do, but get started. All right, number 2. Learn your camera settings, learn ISO, learn aperture, learn shutter speed, learn white balance, learn the settings on your camera. Now, I know this is the ultimate insult to many people today because we don't believe in actually learning photography. We just want to go out and snap a picture and get something that goes viral, or get somebody that wants to book us for their $10,000 wedding because we snapped one good picture. But honestly, if you want consistent results, if you want to build a business, or even if you want to be really good at the hobby, you need to know what your camera can do and how to get it to do it. Because if you don't, you may get a good picture every 6, 8, 9 months, whatever it is, but you're not getting consistent results, and you're not taking consistent pictures in different situations. Learn how to set your camera for low light. Learn what ISO does. Learn depth of field so that you know how to make a picture look a certain way. Learn all those different things. If you're shooting in lighting that's off and people are looking yellow or red, learn how to adjust that. Learn these things, because only by learning them will you grow and will you get your pictures to be more consistent. You're not in it to take I got an amazing shot every once in a while. You're in it to take, hey, I got an amazing shot again and again and again and again. So learn your camera. Next, learn composition. Now, when I speak composition, I'm not speaking like many photographers are. Many photographers, when they talk about composition, are talking about the rule of thirds or having a subject just looking into the frame as opposed to looking out. I'm talking that, but I'm talking more. I'm talking about learn to look at your subjects and help them to look better, know what angle to shoot them from, know how to get them, if they're people, to pose properly, know how to set things up. Perfect example again, shooting weddings. I see so many wedding pictures that are potentially amazing pictures. They look fantastic. They look fabulous. They've been thought out so nice. But the groom's shirt is tucked in funny. The tie is weird. The bride has something that doesn't look quite right on her gown. And the photographer just ignored this stuff. Yes, learn composition. Yes, learn the rule of thirds. Yes, learn how to make a picture look great. But go one step above that. It works with wildlife photography. It works for scenic photography as well. I was out teaching a class years ago, and I mentioned this story many times. We were at a very popular place. I've seen probably millions of pictures of this place. It's honestly kind of boring. It's a beautiful spot, but for pictures, it's really gets boring because you see every angle photographed, and it's been overdone. One of the people in my class took their camera, went down, and actually laid in the water in this canyon and took a picture. It was an amazing picture. It was beyond any picture I've ever seen of that area. Now, they got wet doing it. They were chilled to the bone by doing it. They risked getting their camera soaked. They risked losing their gear. But the picture was amazing. That composition, that was just beyond anything that I ever imagined in that area. All my other students looked at him and went, well, he's crazy. Yeah, he's crazy, but the shot he got was amazing. So learn composition. Learn how to get that shot. Learn how to check the picture out. Wait until that elk is turned just right. Wait until that bird has landed where it's supposed to or passed. And learn all of that stuff because that'll make your pictures better too. And that will set you apart and move you up to a different level than the other photographers. All right, the next one. Lighting. And this is a big one. And again, especially today, people take pictures like at the machine gun speed of how many pictures can we take in a second, and hopefully I get a good one. But if the lighting's off, it just doesn't work. You can take 10,000 pictures and it still looks horrible. It does. You can have the best camera and it still looks horrible. You can have the best lens and the picture still looks horrible. It has to do with the lighting. Learn lighting. Learn what shadows do. Again, an example. Years ago, I had a student come to me. We were talking about studio lighting and how much easier it is to shoot with studio lighting than it is to shoot outside, especially in the late fall, early winter. And this person was just new into it, and they thought, well, it's not that different. And so they went and did some pictures. They bought a studio light setup. They did some pictures in their house, and they were really happy with the results. And then they thought, well, I'm going to go outside without lights, and I'm going to take some pictures just with the shadowing and just the stuff that's out there. Well, they came to me about a week later and says, yeah, boy, lighting really plays a big role in photography. They didn't realize that up until the point where they could control the lighting inside with studio lights, that outside the shadows and stuff can destroy a picture. And they realized at that time that many of their pictures that they didn't like was because the lighting wasn't correct, because there was a highlight where it wasn't supposed to be, because there was shadows where the shadows weren't supposed to be. And lighting plays a huge role. So don't discount lighting when you're looking at a picture. Learn lighting. If you want a trick to all of this, I always tell people, if you want to learn composition, if you want to learn lighting, if you want to learn how to take good pictures, look at good pictures. I used to send people to the library and tell them to take out magazines, go sit down and flip through the magazines. If you want to do wedding pictures, I would tell them to go get a wedding magazine and sit down and flip through the wedding magazine and look at it and say, okay, those are good pictures. Okay, that's good pictures. If you want to do outdoor pictures, if you want to do National Geographic pictures, I would tell them to go get a National Geographic magazine. Oh, look at that. That's how they did. Look at the lighting on it. Look at the composition. Today we have access to millions, if not billions, of pictures per second that are uploaded to the internet. A lot of them are horrible pictures, but go to reputable sites and start looking at good pictures so you know what lighting is and what composition is. And the next point, and it's a big point, and that is practice. Again, I know it's almost a bad word to say that you need to practice, you need to try stuff, you need to actually put in some effort to get yourself better. But practice in different situations. I've told people before, ask family members to pose for you if you want to do people photography. But if they get tired of doing it, go get a doll or a teddy bear or something and start taking pictures of it. Keep practicing over and over again. Some of the best photographers that I know have practiced they're literally blue in the face. I had one lady that would sit in bed at night after her kids were in bed, after her husband was asleep, reading the manual and trying out her camera and practicing on different things. And by doing that, she became an amazing photographer. So you have to practice. You have to learn all of that stuff. You have to get all that together and continue to practice and build up. Now, I said I was going to give you one last point here, and here it is. Every time you take a picture, take everything that I have just told you about learning your camera, about lighting, about composition, and apply it to get a little bit better in the next picture you take than the last picture you took. Every time you take a picture, try to get it better than the day previous, the week previous, the month previous. Every time you take a picture, try to make it so that that picture makes the previous pictures look horrible. Improve your photography. Don't settle for good. Don't settle for great. Keep pushing yourself. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to go from a beginner photographer today to National Geographic tomorrow. Chances of doing that is slim to none. I'm not going to tell you that if you buy a cheap camera today that you're going to be viral tomorrow with all the amazing pictures that you take. But I can tell you, and I can guarantee it, that if you don't improve every day, that people will get tired of your stuff, that your stuff will just be, flat and boring, and that, you won't be improving. You will just be stuck in the muck with everybody else. So keep improving your photography every day, and you'll find that, you will become a better photographer, and you'll move from being a beginner to a hobbyist or even a professional photographer. So until next time, please, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button and the bell notification, and I'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.